Okay, this is our arbitrage blogging training. We are done with our web design. It was 5 week training, and this particular one is also going to be 5 week training, just like the previous one. Okay, and we are going to be having 3 classes per week, just like the previous web design training. Okay, and the outline of the things we are going to be learning. We are going to be learning arbitrage blogging, and the first thing we are going to look into is choosing niche. The second one is going to be two-site setup, AdSense requirement, SEO plus keyword planning with overview wording, and the AdSense application and linking, traffic buying with Facebook ad, and others. Arbitrage execution and selling. And lastly, we are going to learn monetization expansion. Okay, we are going to learn how we can possibly earn more. Because for arbitrage blogging, it doesn't revolve only within Google AdSense. There are still other earning ad networks. There are still other monetization methods which you can use to make money as an arbitrage blogging, apart from Google AdSense. Okay, so we are going to look into all of them, and I'm going to make sure that you understand everything clearly. Okay. Now, this will be our week 1, and this will be our first class. And in today's class, I'm going to make everything clear, and I want you to pay close attention because almost everything I'm going to teach now is what I will guide you throughout the training from the beginning to the end. And if you miss anything now, maybe you are going to find it difficult to understand or to comprehend some things, okay? But if you are able to understand almost everything I'm going to teach you guys now, you understand that arbitrage blogging is very simple. It's not all that difficult. People do it, or I see yourself you do it. Arbitrage blogging is very simple. It's not all that difficult. If you understand the basics, if you understand the beginning, the foundation of it, you're going to find it very easy when you enter the main business. Now, in today's class, according to our timetable, we are going to be looking into the introduction to arbitrage blogging, understanding how page views become money. Okay, I'm going to introduce arbitrage blogging to you guys, make you understand all the key the things you should know about and the things you should understand. Okay, the first thing here is the introduction. And just as I said before, this is week 1, and this is our first class. And today we begin the foundation of arbitrage blogging, the exact business model behind buying traffic quickly and earning higher returns. Key display ads. And by the end of this section, you will fully understand how arbitrage works, how website gets paid, and what determines your earnings. Okay? The main question here is, what is arbitrage blogging? Hope you guys are hearing me. Are you guys
Yes,
hearing me?
we can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Now, the first question here is, what is arbitrage blogging? Arbitrage blogging is a business model where you buy traffic at a low cost. Facebook ads, native ads, social traffic, and earn more money from that traffic through monetization platforms like Google AdSense, Ezoic, and other ad networks. Okay, Google AdSense is an ad network. Ezoic is an ad network. Monetize is an ad network. Etc. is an ad network. There are so many ad networks. But for this class, we are going to be focusing mainly on Google AdSense
And at the last of the training, I'm going to teach you guys how you can explore. I'm going to show you guys many other ways you can earn money as an arbitrage blogger. And I'm promising you there's no way you be in this class or pass through this training without understanding almost everything you need to succeed in arbitrage blogging. Okay, now understanding arbitrage in blogging. When we talk about blogging, there are so many types of blogging. There are SEO blogging or affiliate blogging and so many other types of blogging. But the one we are going to be focusing on is arbitrage blogging. And now I want you to understand the arbitrage in blogging. Now, arbitrage is simply the difference between what you spend and what you earn. In blogging, you buy traffic cheaply, maybe $2 to $8 per click from Facebook, and then your ad pay you maybe $20 to $120 per click, depending on your country and niche. The profit is your arbitrage. Now, the goal is to scale until your daily profit becomes predictable. Now, as an arbitrage blogger, I can possibly tell you the amount I'm going to earn per night. Let me see if I'm setting an ad. I want to run an ad to buy traffic this night. I can possibly tell you the amount I'm going to make because I've done it many times and I can possibly predict my earning. Now, when we talk about just as I said here, you buy traffic cheaply. Sorry, just as I said here, you buy traffic cheaply, maybe $2 to $8 per click. Now, when we talk about per click, there's something we call CPC. As we go further, you're going to understand better. There's something we call CPC. This CPC is cost per click. In Facebook ads, the CPC is how much Facebook is going to charge you per click. In your Google AdSense, CPC is what Google AdSense is going to pay you per click. You can now see the difference. Facebook charges you through the CPC, while AdSense pays you through the CPC. Okay, now, and your ad pay you maybe $20 to $120 per click, depending on your country and niche. And the profit is your arbitrage. This is the arbitrage in blogging. The price difference, how much you buy a traffic and how much you earn from the traffic. Now, the goal is to scale until your daily profit becomes predictable. Okay, and through this class, I'm going to make sure that you understand almost everything so that you can possibly, whenever you are setting up an ad, you can possibly predict how much you are going to earn. You also know when you are losing money. You also know predict when you are going to this. If I do this, am I going to make money? If I do this, am I going to lose money? Okay, I'll make sure that you understand it that way and also create a clear picture for you. Now, how arbitrage blogging works, step by step. The first step, how arbitrage blogging works, you create a niche website. That's the number one. You must own a website before you start arbitrage blogging. Secondly, write high engaging articles. You must have a quality and high engaging articles on your website. The third step, you buy traffic. Facebook, TikTok, native ads, all these are the places you can buy traffic to your website. The fourth step, visitors enter the website. Remember, you create a website, you write an engaging articles, you buy traffic, then the traffic go to your website. Now, Google AdSense displays ads. Then the number 6, you get paid for impressions and clicks. Then lastly, you reinvest into more traffic to improve your profit. These are the 7 steps of arbitrage blogging. If you have these steps in your head, you can possibly start arbitrage blogging on your own. If you are going to need a mentor, it's going to be somebody that will tell you all the secrets, how to make money and how to improve your earning. Okay, you understand how to create a website, which I've taught you guys. You understand how to write high engaging articles, which I'm going to teach you guys. You buy traffic, Facebook, TikTok, native ads, which I'm also going to teach you guys how to set up Facebook ad, how to buy traffic and so rest of them. Visitors enter the website, Google AdSense displays ads. Then you get paid for impressions and clicks. Then lastly, you reinvest into more traffic to improve your profit. These are the 7 steps. And when you get it clear, everything becomes very, very simple. Now, the arbitrage success cycle. Arbitrage blogging is not guesswork. It has a predictable cycle. Okay, you build a site, write content, send traffic, get paid, reinvest, scale. That is why people succeed faster in arbitrage than in normal blogging. Okay, as an arbitrage blogger, you're expected to succeed faster, to make money faster than those in normal blogging. Okay, now arbitrage blogging versus normal blogging. I'm going to make this understandable so that if somebody asks you what makes you an arbitrage blogger, you can possibly differentiate yourself from those into normal blogging. Now, in normal blogging relies on SEO. Normal blogging relies on SEO. Now, for arbitrage blogging relies on paid traffic. For normal blogging, you depend on your SEO work to earn money. In arbitrage blogging, you depend on paid traffic, meaning that you don't wait to rank on Google, you don't wait to set up your SEO perfectly before you earn. You earn through a paid traffic. Now, in normal blogging has slow growth, but arbitrage blogging has fast growth. In normal blogging, income after months. If you are doing a normal blogging, before your blog post would rank, that is going to take you something like a month. But in arbitrage blogging, you can write a blog post now, drive traffic to the blog post, and earn money same week, same day, same night. Now, in normal blogging, many articles needed. In normal blogging, you are expected to write many articles. You are expected to write so many blog posts just to make money. But in arbitrage blogging, you need just few articles. This doesn't mean that you should forget about writing articles. No, you need to write articles. But it's not up to how many articles those into normal blogging needed. Okay, for you as an arbitrage blogger, you need just few articles. Just make sure that your blog is live. Now, normal blogging, long term, before you start making it. And in arbitrage blogging, quick cash flow and scalable. The more you spend, the more you earn. You don't wait for magic to happen. You don't wait to be lucky. You don't wait. You already know how much you're going to earn. If I spend so amount, how much am I going to make from it? Now, comparing arbitrage and traditional blogging. In normal blogging, SEO is everything. You wait months before Google ranks you. This is all about traditional blogging, which is normal blogging. SEO is everything in normal blogging, and you have to wait months before Google ranks you before you make money from your blog. Now, in arbitrage blogging, you send traffic immediately. You don't wait for Google to rank your blog post. You can start earning the same day. You get AdSense approved. That's the big difference. Arbitrage is faster but requires money to run. Okay, and this is your advantage as somebody going into arbitrage blogging. Now, why arbitrage blogging works? Why arbitrage blogging works? This is the first thing, and the first one is traffic sources like Facebook are cheap. Okay. The reason why arbitrage blogging works is, first of all, because traffic sources like Facebook are cheap. The traffic you get from Facebook is cheaper than how much Google is going to pay, advertisers are going to pay per ad. And you are going to earn through this thing. You're going to earn through your ad. You run an ad to get traffic from Facebook, then drive the traffic to your website, and the advertisers pays higher than how much you're spending on Facebook ads. Now, the second one, ad networks pay well depending on location. Ad network, when we talk about ad network, we are talking about AdSense, monetize, and so rest of them. They are the ad networks. Okay, now, third one, people love viral content, makes engagement cheap. When you run a Facebook ad, your ad is going to go viral. It's going to increase engagement, and engagement is going to be cheap because Facebook charges cheap. Now, the fourth one, scaling is easy. Arbitrage blogging works because scaling is easy. More traffic, more earnings. The more money you spend on getting traffic, the more money you earn. Okay, now lastly, you can target any country you want. Target any country you want. In SEO, if you are doing SEO blog like normal blogging, you don't have choice. Your own is to write a blog post. If you are lucky, if you are good on setting up SEO, then Google is going to rank your blog post, and anybody from any part of the world can choose to view your blog. But for arbitrage blogger, you are going to target your choice countries. Every country has different CPC. They have different CPM, how much you earn if somebody from that location visits your site or clicks on your ads. Meaning that as an arbitrage blogger, you can select those countries with high CPC and then target them and make your money. You control everything on your own. Now, why arbitrage blogging works? Number two, arbitrage works because you are using platforms like Facebook to buy cheap, very cheap audience. Meanwhile, advertisers on your site pay higher CPM rates. So you are tapping into a pricing imbalance. Okay? Just as I said before, Facebook charges cheaper when you try buying audience, when you try buying traffic. Then the advertisers, those that their ads are displaying on your blog, pay higher CPM rates. Meaning that you as an arbitrage blogger, you are going to tap into a pricing imbalance. Okay, now, understanding key terms, RPM, CPC, CPM, and CTR. If you understand these four key terms here, you can possibly predict your earning. You can possibly understand whether you are going to make profit or not from the beginning. You are going to find arbitrage blogging very easy and very simple. Okay, so for you to understand arbitrage blogging, you have to understand the four key terms, the matrix, which is listed here. Okay, and I'm going to teach you guys, I'm going to make sure that you understand them clearly. I'm going to make sure that you get to understand what they are so that you won't find it difficult later. Now, the first thing we have here is RPM. When we talk about the RPM, the full meaning of RPM is revenue per mille. Now, in simple explanation, RPM is how much you earn for every 1,000 page views. This RPM means that whenever you buy traffic, If you buy traffic and traffic like 1,000 traffic, RPM is going to determine how much you earn per the 1,000 page view. Now, the second one, we have CPM. CPM is cost per mille. What advertisers pay for 1,000 ad impressions. So when you talk about CPM, the full meaning is cost per mille, and it is what advertisers pay for 1,000 ad impressions. Now, CPC, which is the third one, I think I've said something about it before, but in full meaning, CPC means cost per click. Cost per click. Now, CPC simply means how much you earn when somebody clicks an ad on your blog. You're going to see all these things on your AdSense dashboard, apart from CPM. CPM, where you can see CPM is in your your ads, your Google Ad Planner. Because CPM is talking about how much advertisers pay for every 1,000 ad impression. Okay, and your ad planner is what is going to show you how much advertisers pay per 1,000. Now, the last one, we have CTR. When we talk about CTR, CTR simply means click-through rate. Now, in simple explanation, it is the percentage of visitors who click on ads. Okay, now let's go further so that you understand more and also understand better. Now, RPM, CPC, CPM, and CTR, these four metrics determines your success. So whenever we talk about arbitrage blogging, what determines your success, what controls almost everything about arbitrage blogging is the RPM, the CPC, the CPM, and the CTR. Now, these four metrics determines your success. RPM tells you how much your traffic is worth per 1,000 page view. Now, the CPC shows how much you earn for each ad clicks. Now, the CPM reflects how strong and competitive the advertiser market is in your niche. Now, the CTR, which is the last one, determines how often visitors actually click on ads. Now, when all four of these are healthy, arbitrage blogging becomes highly profitable and scalable. So as an arbitrage blogger, some people, let me say, when you finally enter into arbitrage blogging, some people always leave the main thing they should be trying to improve and focusing more on how much you earn. If you want to improve how much you earn, if you want to earn more, you must understand CPM, CPC, RPM, CPC, CPM, and CTR. If you understand them clearly, understand each of them, you can possibly have a clear picture on how to improve each of the metrics and earn more as an arbitrage blogger. So whenever you want to scale your earning, your profit, simply focus on improving your RPM, your CPC, your CPM, and CTR. And as we go on, I'm going to teach you guys how you can possibly improve all those things so that your earning will improve. Now, metric calculation formulas. This is where mathematics comes into arbitrage blogging. So this doesn't mean that you must be a mathematician before you understand. It's a very simple mathematics. And if you understand it, you can possibly predict your earning. Now, RPM has a formula. If you want to calculate your RPM, for most of you following me on Facebook, I posted some this thing on Facebook, which I asked anybody that gets it, I'm going to give the first 4 persons money, which most of them tried. Okay, I'm going to teach you guys how to solve such. Because if you understand how to calculate your RPM, CPC, CPM, and CTL, you can possibly understand your earning, understand everything, how everything goes in and out. Now, the formula of calculating your RPM is the total earnings divided by total page views times 1,000. Okay, now CPC, total click earnings, total ad clicks, okay, total click earning divided by total ad clicks. That's how you can calculate your CPC. Now for CPM, total earnings divided by total impressions times 1,000, you get your CPM. Now the last one, which is CTR, total clicks divided by total impressions times 100. Because this is percentage, so you have to times it with 100. Now, to make this more understandable, I'm going to take you through some calculations. But before then, let's understand what ad impression really means. Now, you need to know this before we go into the calculations. Now, what is ad impression? When we talk about the ad impression, an ad impression is counted every time an advertisement is shown on a web page, whether it is clicked or not. An ad impression is counted every time an advertisement is shown on a web page, whether visitors click on the ad or not. It simply means that for your ad impression to be counted by Google, you only need for visitors to see the ad displaying on your website. Now, click is not required. When we talk about ad impression, we're only talking about seeing the ad, visitors seeing the ads on your blog. Whether they click on it or not, you are going to earn from the ad impression. Now, simple example, when you publish one blog post and then buy traffic, a visitor opens the page which you are running ads, which you are driving traffic to. Then maybe the page contains 3 ads. All 3 ads load successfully. Results, 3 ad impressions, meaning that Google is going to pay you for 3 ad impressions because one visitor visited your blog, opened one page of your blog, and saw 3 ads. Then Google will count it as 3 views, 3 page views, and then pay you for 3 ad impressions. 0 clicks if the visitor doesn't click. The clicks doesn't matter when we are talking about the impressions. Now, page view as ad impression, page view versus ad impression. Here is where I want you to understand the difference between page view and the ad impression, even though they look familiar, but there is a difference between both of them. Now, when we talk about page view refers to one visit to a page, to a web page. If a visitor, let me say myself, if I decide to open somebody's blog, I'm the page view. As a visitor, I'll be counted as the page view. Now, the ad impression is talking about the ads, the Google ad, which is displayed. Let me see if I visit a blog, and the blog is monetized by Google AdSense, and then I started seeing ads. Those ads, I'm the page view. Now I'm the page view, and the advertisement I'm seeing on the blog is the ad impression. Now, an example, one page view, let me see if I'm the one page view. And I saw 5 ads on the page. Now, it's going to give 5 ad impressions. Remember, this page view, but we are going to be paid for 5 ad impressions. Because I saw 5 ads on the blog. Without even clicking on them, I just saw the ad load successfully. That's what you should understand about page view and ad impression. Now, why ad impressions matter? Ad impressions are important because CPM is based on impressions. RPM is also calculated using impressions. Advertisers pay even without clicks. More impressions, more earning potential. the more impressions you get on your blog, the more earning potential. And remember, advertisers pay just for even without clicks. Their own is, did anybody see this ad on your blog? Yes, they will pay for it. Now, impression-based earnings. Now we are not talking about the clicks, we are talking about the impression-based earnings. Now, advertisers can pay per click, which is CPC, and they can also pay per 1,000 impressions, which is CPM. This means you can earn even if users don't click on ads. You can earn even when visitors to your blog don't click ads. You can earn through impression. Now, where to see impression in Google AdSense? In Google AdSense, simply click on reports. You will find impressions, page views, impression RPM, page RPM, and other metrics. So we are going to view it. This is a Google AdSense dashboard. This is a Google AdSense dashboard, and all the things we'll be talking about, you can see them here. You can see all of them here. Okay, here the first one is the page view. The second one is the page RPM. The third one is the impression. The fourth one is the clicks. The fourth one is the fifth one is CPC, and the sixth one is page CTR. This is where you can see all of them. The only one you are not going to see here is your CPM. The place you can see that one is your Google Ad Planner. That's where you can see when you be planning your ad, you see this is the amount people, advertisers are paying for so keyword and so niche and others. When we get to that point, I'm going to show you guys that one. But for now, this is your page views, RPM, impressions, clicks, CPC, and page CTR. Now, let's go further. Why impressions matters in arbitrage? In traffic arbitrage, you buy traffic, more impressions per visit, higher RPM. So with impressions, when you get enough impressions, your RPM is going to increase. And this depends on the country you are targeting. There are some countries that their their RPM and their CPM is low. Okay, now for you to get a quality impression, you must make sure that those visiting your blog don't skip immediately. They don't go out of your blog immediately to improve the quality of your impressions. Though we are going to go further into that so that you understand it better. So more impressions per visit, higher RPM. This means that whenever a visitor opens your website, more impressions per visit, which means how many ads, more ads displaying on your blog, higher RPM. Now, the last one, Google Ad Placement. More impressions. When you have a Google Ad Placement, when you have a good ad placement on your blog, you are going to gain more impressions. Okay? Especially when you insert ad, when you place ad in between paragraphs. If somebody, a visitor is scrolling, they're going to be seeing different ads. They're going to be seeing many ads, which is going to improve your impressions and also improve your RPM, leading to higher chances of earning. Now, why impressions matter in arbitrage? This is why. Why impression matters, number one, is that long content, multiple ads units, then lastly, high scroll depth, leading to more impressions per visitor, more impressions per visitor. Now, to make this more understandable to you, when you have a long content on your blog, this is why it is very good to have a long blog post. When you are writing your blog post, you write it to be very long. Okay, you write it to be very long. Now, multiple ad units. When you have a long post, you are going to have multiple ad units, many ads inserted on one blog post. It's going to increase the number of ads which is going to be displayed on the blog post because the content is long enough. Now, that is going to lead to a visitor scrolling deeply into your blog post, scrolling for a distance, for a long scrolling. Okay, and from the long scrolling, the visitor is going to see multiple ad units. They're going to see multiple ads, which will lead to more impressions per visitor. And more impressions per visitor simply means you're going to earn more just from one visitor. Let me say, if your if your blog post is very short, and then because the blog post is very short, AdSense decided to insert just 1 or 2 ads on the blog post because the blog post is very short. That means one visitor to that page, you're going to have only 2 impressions or even 1. But if you're lucky enough, if the 2 ads load successfully, you're going to have just 2 impressions from 1 visitor. But when your blog post is very long, Google AdSense is going to insert more than 5, 6, more than up to 10 different ads. Meaning that from 1 visitor to your blog, you're going to get over 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 impressions from just 1 visitor. So that's why it's very good to write a long content. I believe that enters your head. Now, quick summary about impression. Ad impression simply means ads displayed on your blog. Click is not required when we are talking about ad impression. More ads plus more traffic, more impressions. CPM and RPM depend on impressions. And when your CPM and RPM is good enough, you're going to earn enough money without losing money. Now, how page views turn into money? This is what you need to understand. And when you understand it, you can possibly control your earning as an arbitrage blogger. Remember, we are still on an intro. This is an intro to blogging. And in this section, I'm just summarizing and getting you know about everything from A to Z. With this particular section, even if this class stops here, you can possibly enter into arbitrage blogging as long as you understand everything here and make it big. But remember, this is still an intro. You're going to go deeper and step by step on things you need to know. So now let's talk about how page views turn into money. Remember, when we talk about page views, we are talking about people, visitors, traffic that goes to your website. Now, if you want to calculate the page views earning, how page view turn into money, this is how we are going to calculate that. The ad earnings, page views divided by 1,000, which is the impression, times RPM. Example, let's say the page views is 178,900 page views times the RPM. If the RPM is $2.99, that's going to give us $534. Okay, remember this is I showed a Google AdSense dashboard before. This is the Google AdSense dashboard. And remember the 178.9K page view we are talking about, you can see it here. The RPM, which is 2.99, you can see it here. This is it here. Okay, that's the 2 things you are going to use to calculate and know how much. Remember, the earning here is covered, and with the calculation, we are going to understand how much this matrix, how much this page RPM and page views is going to pay us. Okay, so that, let me see, even if after this class, somebody screenshot his Google AdSense dashboard and cover the earning and show you only the matrix, you can possibly get to know how much the person earned. there was a day, I think, was he Sabright, or who is that person that posted on Facebook? He posted only his made this performance matrix and asked that if anybody should get it right, use it to calculate how much he earned, that is going to give the person so amount of money, which I've forgotten. Okay, in case if you see such post next time, you can possibly solve it and know how much the person earns. And from there, your earning as an arbitrage blogger becomes predictable. Now, let's go back to the calculations. Remember, our page view here is 178,900 and the page RPM is 2.99. Okay, now let's go back to the calculation. Let's calculate and understand how page views turn into money. Now, remember our page view is 178,900. And remember the calculation formula is page views times RPM times RPM, yeah, divided by 1,000. So now, if we calculate 178,900 page views times $2.99, which is the RPM, that's going to give us $534.911 when you divide it by 1,000. Now, the second sample, remember I'm giving two samples here. The second sample, let's assume that our page view is 10,000 and our RPM is $6. That means 10,000 page views times $6 RPM divided by 1,000 is going to give us $60. Now let's calculate. Let's go into the calculation so that you understand more about what I'm saying. Now let's say this is the page views, and let's solve and understand how page views turn into money in a simple way. Now RPM equal here we have two RPM. We are going to calculate using 2 RPM. This is the first RPM, which is the one we saw on our Google AdSense dashboard. The second one is another sample. But let's go through the first one, which is $2.99. Let's assume our RPM is $2.99, just as seen on our Google AdSense dashboard. Now, this is how we can calculate it. 178,900, which is our page view, divided by 1,000, which is impression. That is going to give us 178.9. Now, 178.9 times $2.99, that's going to give us $534.91 approximately. Okay, now I've calculated this without seeing the earning. Now, the second one we have, okay, now let's confirm to know whether this is correct. Let's to know whether if we got it correct. Remember the calculation and the formula. The formula is page view divided by 1,000 times RPM is going to give us $534.91 approximately. Now, this is the earning. This is the dashboard. And here you can see this is the earning we are talking about. And if you check our calculation here, which is $534, you can see it here that that's the earning. Later, I'm going to also explain to you guys why we got $534.91 here, and here we are seeing $534.87. Okay, the main earning was actually $534.91, but as you can see here, it has reduced to $534.87. Maybe when we get there, I'm going to make it more understandable. Now, let's solve the second sample, which is $6 RPM. Now, the second sample, which we talked about, is 10,000 page views. Let's assume the page views is 10,000. Now, 10,000 page views divided by 1,000 equals to 10. Now, 10 times $6, which is the RPM, that's going to give us $60. And note, this is impression earning. Clicks are not included. And when we talk about RPM, Both your CPC, both everything is inside your ROPM. Okay, now let's move ahead. We've confirmed our calculations and we got it right. Now let's move to the next slide. How to calculate each metric. I've taught you guys how page view turn into money. Now let's talk about how to calculate each metric, which is RPM, CPC, CPC, CPM, and CTR. I'm going to show you guys how you can possibly calculate each of them and know what they are even without seeing them. Now, we're going to start with RPM, which is the main thing. The formula of calculating RPM is simple. Total earning divided by total page view times 1,000. Okay, given that total earning is $534.91, which is what we got here, which is what we got on our earning. You can see the earning we are talking about here, 534 points. Okay, just as stated here, $91. Now, this is how we are going to calculate it. First of all, you should know the total earnings. If you want to calculate your RPM, know the total earnings, know the page views. The page views is 178,900. Now, let's use these two things to calculate our RPM. Use the total earning and the page views to calculate your RPM. Now, RPM, think of RPM as your revenue value. The more page views you buy, the more you earn. The quality of your niche determines your RPM. I'm also going to teach you guys about niche. Okay, that may be our next class. I'm going to teach you guys about niche. And after that, you guys are going to design a website for yourself. I've taught you guys how to design a website. But if you don't know how to design it, you can message me. I'll design a website for you. Now, the quality of your niche determines your RPM. Countries like US, UK, Canada have higher RPM. Countries like Nigeria, India have lower RPM. But this is a secret about Nigeria you should understand. If your blog niche is an opportunity niche, like scholarship niche, job niche, travel abroad niche, all those types of opportunity niche, you are going to gain good RPM from Nigeria. This is why when you target Nigeria with such niche, with such post, opportunity blog post, remember that almost everybody in Nigeria wants to travel out of Nigeria. Everybody needs job opportunity outside. Everybody needs an opportunity to travel outside. Meaning that when you run a scholarship blog, when you run travel blog, when you run job opportunity blog, when you run arbitrage blog, when you run ads, Facebook ads, targeting Nigerians, there is a high chances that you're going to get a good number of visitors to your website, a good traffic to your website, because almost everybody wants to travel, everybody wants to jump. Now, that's why arbitrage bloggers often target foreign traffic. As an arbitrage blogger, you can possibly target any country which you believe that is going to make you enough money. Unlike SEO, which is just guessing work, but for arbitrage, you don't need guessing. You already know what you want. Then you go for what you want. Now, RPM calculation, remember the formula which I told you before now. Total earnings divided by total page view times 1,000, you get your RPM. Now, remember the total earning we got is $534.91. Then divide the total earning by the page view, which is $178,900. That's going to give you 0.00299. Now, 0.00299 times 1,000, that's going to give you 2.99 RPM. Now, let's confirm our RPM to know whether our calculation actually aligned with the actual distance RPM. Now you can see this is our RPM. You can see our RPM here is $2.99. just as the same thing we got here, which is 2.99. That's how we can possibly know your RPM, understand your RPM, and to know whether you are losing or you are gaining. Now let's calculate our CPC calculation. Hope you guys are seeing my screen. Okay. Now let's go to the CPC calculation. The formula to calculate CPC is very simple. Total click earning divided by total clicks. Then you get your CPC. Now let's assume that the click earnings is 936 times $0.59. Click earnings, that is $552.24. Now the total clicks, the total clicks we have on our blog, on our Google AdSense is 936. Now the CPC, okay, let's assume the CPC is 0.59. Now to get the right answer, you're going to do $552.24 divided by 936. That's going to give you the actual CPC. Now, if you want to, if you want to confirm, let's know what our CPC is all about. You can see that our CPC is 0.59. And remember what I told you, the formula to get that is total click earnings divided by total clicks. That's going to give you $0.59. And remember, the click earnings is $552.24 divided by 936 clicks. That's going to give you $0.59. This is low, though it's not order low. The CPC is not order low, but it's manageable. Now to confirm it, here you can see this is $0.59. Now let's move to the next slide. CPM calculation. To understand your CPM, you need to understand the formula of calculating it. And the formula of calculating CPM is total earnings divided by total impressions times 1,000. Okay? Total impressions, which we have on our Google AdSense dashboard, the total impression we have there is 445.6K impressions. Now, 445,600 impressions, the total earning estimated is $534.91. Now, this is what you're going to use to calculate your CPM. And to do that, this is how you can calculate it. The 534.91 total earning divided by the impression, which is 445,600, that's going to give you 0.00120. Now, 0.00120 times 1,000 will give you $1.20. And that's our CPM. Meaning that the keyword which was targeted and the country which was targeted, that advertisers are paying $1.20 per click, per impression. Okay, now let's move to the next slide, which is the last one, CTR calculations. Now, if you want to calculate the CTR, this is how it's being done. The formula of calculating CTR, which I've told you guys before, is total clicks divided by total impressions. times 100. Remember, we are calculating percentage and we need to times it by 100. Now, total clicks we have on our AdSense dashboard is 936 clicks. Now, the total impressions, which is 445.6K impressions, equals to, which means 445,600. Now, to get the actual CTR, we are going to do total clicks divided by total impressions times 100, meaning that we are going to do 936 divided by 445,600 impressions. That would give us 0.00210. Now, 0.00210 times 100, that's going to give us 0.21%. 0.21%, and that's our CTR. Now, to confirm it, you can see it here. This is our page CTR. You can actually solve it without seeing it, and then you understand it. Meaning that a page CTR is 0.21%, meaning that this AdSense dashboard has low CTR. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. How CTR affects income? When we talk about a CTR, we are talking about this, the page CTR, which we just finished calculating now. Now, let's understand how CTR affects income. CTR, which means click-through rate, percentage of visitors who click on ads. Now, 2% CTR is good. 3% CTR is very good. 5% CTR and above is excellent. Then with that, if you see our own CTR, you know that the CTR of this Google AdSense needs to be improved. It's very low because it's not up to 2%, which is a good CTR. Now, how CTR really affect income? These numbers depends on traffic costs, country you target, and the RPM. The CTR, which is the numbers, depends on traffic cost, country you target, and RPM. Now, arbitrage is not get rich quick. This is one truth you should understand. It's not a get rich quick. You need to just mark it. It's not a get rich quick. That's one thing you should understand about arbitrage. You need to build, you need to improve, you need to understand. It's a paid traffic business that grows as you reinvest profit. And let me also tell you the truth, as somebody that just got started, somebody that just started arbitrage blogging, you may experience some issues at the beginning. Some of the issues might be that you may run an ad without earning much, without getting any profit from your ads. Or at times you may even lose money until you understand all these metrics very well and how to set up your ad. Okay, before your earning will start improving. And that can only happen when you keep on reinvesting profit. When you keep on doing it without stopping, that's when the earning will actually improve. Now, what determines your daily earnings as an arbitrage blogger? The first thing that determines your daily earning is country you target, which is RPM difference. The second thing that determines your daily earning as arbitrage blogger is cost of traffic, CPR and CPC on Facebook. Now, the third one is your articles, the quality of your article, how you structure your articles. The fourth one is CTR, how engaging your site is. Okay? You can see this, let me remind you something. When we talk about CTR, CTR is actually talking about the percentage of how engaging your blog post is. Okay, that is also another thing that determines your earning as an arbitrage blogger, which is your CTR, how engaging your site is. Now, the fifth one is number of articles. Rotation improves profit. Number of articles on your blog. When you have enough articles on your blog, it's going to improve your earnings. It's going to contribute much on your earnings. When visitors have a lot of pages to explore, a lot of blog posts to explore. Now, the second to the last is ad layout. How you structure, how you place an ad on your blog. That's also another thing that's going to determine your daily earning. Now, the last one is how long users stay before bouncing. This is the main thing, and this is what I said before. This is actually what affected the earning of the Google AdSense, which I showed you guys. The actual earning was $534.91. That was actually the earning, but the earning later dropped down back to $534.87. According to our calculations, we got $534.911. But as you can see here, the actual earning in real time is $534.87. Now, what really happened? What happened is the bouncing rate, the total bouncing rate. When we talk about bouncing rate, it simply means how long users stay before bouncing. When you don't have enough content on your blog, when you have small, brief blog posts on your blog, there is a high chances that when visitors go to your website, they can possibly stay for just short period of time, then they will bounce out. And that bouncing out without staying long, without staying a bit long in your blog, that's going to decrease your earning. Even if AdSense calculated them as your earning, last, they're going to deduct it, just like they deducted the one we are seeing here. Okay, you must make sure that you structure everything in such a way that everybody can possibly or go through your blog post, stay long till AdSense calculate them and pay your money. Now, what determines your daily earnings too? Your earnings are controlled by RPM and CPC. This is one thing you should understand clearly. That your earnings, your daily earnings is controlled by RPM and CPC. But your expenses are controlled by your traffic cost. Your traffic cost is the CPC, the how much Facebook charge you whenever you are buying traffic. Your earning is controlled by RPM and CPC. Your expenses are controlled by your traffic cost. And you should understand both of them. Understand your expenses, how much you spend on buying traffic, and how RPM and CPC controls your earning. The sweet spot is a low traffic cost and high RPM niche. Okay, this is where I'm going to help you guys choose a niche. I'm going to teach you guys about niche before you choose a niche. I'm going to make sure I teach you guys about that so that you don't make mistake. I'll make sure that you choose the right niche. Okay, so that's the sweet spot. When you get a low traffic cost and high RPM niche, you're going to make enough money. Now, misconception about arbitrage blogging. There is something I want you, the hard truth, the bitter truth I want you to understand about arbitrage blogging. You can see some people say it's easy money, but it's not true. You can see some people saying, I want to enter into arbitrage blogging because it can turn me to a millionaire, it can make me a billionaire, but that's not true. You need a lot of work, you need to understand things, you need to build, you need to be patient until everything gets working. Now, the second one, you just buy traffic and earn instantly. No, it doesn't work that way. Before you buy traffic, make sure you understand the traffic you are buying. Make sure you understand ad setup. Make sure you understand your RPM and CPC. Make sure you understand your CPM before you start buying traffic. Okay, now all traffic makes money. No, it's not true. The reason why I say that is not true, all traffic doesn't make money, don't make money, is because there are some traffic that are seen as a quantity, but there is no quality in them. Such traffic are some of those visitors that go to your site, immediately they get to your site, they scroll past your site, they jump out of your website immediately. That means Facebook is going to record the visitor that this person was sent your blog, but your blog is not going to get paid because maybe your blog is not structured well, and because of that, the visitors, all of them just jumping out of your blog immediately they enter. You are not going to be paid for such traffic. You must make sure that everything is set properly before you start running ads. Now, you don't need quality content. That's a very big lie. At times, you see some people saying that as an arbitrage blogger, you don't need a quality content. That is, quality content is made for those running SEO blog, and this blah blah blah. But that is not true. As an arbitrage blogger, you also need quality content. Make sure you write enough content. Make sure that your content is good enough. Okay? When you have a quality content, you have lower bouncing rates. You will have higher earning, higher chances of earning. You will have higher impression. You will have higher earning potentials. That's what you should understand about arbitrage blogging. Now, know this, arbitrage is a real business. And as a real business, poor content will lose you money. So, as a real business person, you need to get a good content because that's your product. That's the product you are selling. And you should package it very well. Now, wrong niche, you lose money. When you choose a wrong niche, you're not going to make it as an arbitrage blogger. There are some niche, there are so many niche out there, but there are some niche that are not meant for arbitrage. There are some niche that are not made for arbitrage blogging. When we get there, I'm going to make it more understandable to you. Now, wrong traffic source, you lose money. When you target some, when you use some source, like let me see if you run an ad with TikTok gives quality traffic, but not every time. There is high chances of having issue, having ad limit when you run ads through TikTok, because the TikTok is cheaper, but you are going to have bot traffic and cheap traffic, which is going to lose you money. So before you buy traffic, check the source very well. Facebook is one of the most reliable traffic source. Okay, but once you understand the formula, it becomes stable. That's one thing about arbitrage blogging. You're going to be having issue. You're going to continue having issue. Your issue is going to continue increasing until you understand the formula, you understand everything clearly. And when you understand it, everything becomes stable. You will no longer have problem. You will no longer be scared of anything, because now you already understand everything. You know the do and don'ts. You know everything clearly, and that's the time everything becomes stable. Now, what you must have before starting arbitrage blogging. This is some questions that so many persons have been asking me. What you must have before starting arbitrage blogging. Okay, now I'm going to make it very clear. If you want to enter into arbitrage blogging, you don't need huge amount of money. The only thing that is going to cost you money is the right information. Just as you're in this class, that's the only thing that is going to cost you huge money. Because without the right information, you're actually going to lose more than that. when you finally enter the arbitrage blogging. But the main thing, the main tool which you need is, the first thing is a professional WordPress site. That's number one. Secondly, 10 to 20 high engaging articles. After you design your site, you have to create 10 to 20 high engaging articles. Now, the third one, you need a Facebook page. This your Facebook page, you can name it the same name your website is, so that you always use it to run your ads. Fourth one, AdSense account. Once you get your website, get the high engaging articles, get your Facebook page, you apply for Google AdSense, then if you get it approved, or you can choose to buy already approved one. But when you are buying an already approved AdSense, please pay close attention. Buying a Google AdSense, make sure that you have the mind to lose it. Before you buy it, make sure that you can withstand it if you lose it. AdSense is somehow very risky. You can spend your money to buy an AdSense account, and you wake up tomorrow morning and see that it has been disabled. Get this into your head. But there is also another thing you should also understand. When you are buying already approved AdSense account, don't buy cheap ones. But before you buy the expensive ones, make sure that you've learned enough about arbitrage blogging, about AdSense. Make sure that you understand much about it before you buy the expensive one. The expensive ones that has maybe multiple payments received AdSense, the one that have stayed for some years, you hardly lose such AdSense. Google hardly ban such AdSense when you have it. But all these cheap, newly approved AdSense can easily get disabled. You can easily have ad limit and so many other problems. But listen, before you buy a Google AdSense, make sure you've been able to understand and get clear what AdSense account is all about. If not, focus on applying your own, get it approved, and you are good to go. Now, the sixth one, basic budget which you need for arbitrage blogging. This is the fact. You need 5,000 naira to 30,000 naira to start your arbitrage blogging. This means after paying your money for the right information, and when you finally start your own arbitrage blog, you can buy arbitrage blogging depends on paid traffic to run. As long as you are getting the traffic, that is it. So you can buy a traffic with 5,000 naira to 30,000 naira. You can choose to buy a traffic, run Facebook ad with 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira, 30,000 naira, 500,000 naira, 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, 100 million naira. You can choose how much you want to use to run your ads. And the amount you spend on buying traffic, running your ad, will determine how much you're going to earn. How much you're going to earn depends on how much you're willing to expend to spend on your ads. The amount you are willing to spend on buying traffic. Now, lastly, you need clear strategy for which traffic country to target and which country not to target. I'm going to teach you guys all of those things. Now, what you must have before starting arbitrage blogging, number 2. To survive in arbitrage, you must treat it like a business. When you treat it as a business, that's when you have to package your content well. That's when you understand that you need to make your blog a good place for people, to attract people, to keep people. The setup matters, AdSense approval matters, content quality matters. Don't start running traffic without completing your setups. Before you start buying traffic, you must make sure that you meet all these requirements: the setup, the AdSense approval, content quality, before you start buying traffic, driving traffic to your website. Okay. Now, summary of today's class. Today we covered what arbitrage blogging is. We talked about difference from normal blogging, how earnings work, CPC, RPM, CPM, and CTR. We also learned about how page views turn into revenue. We learned about realistic earning expectations. And lastly, we discussed what determines success in arbitrage blogging. These are a summary of today's class. And this is the foundation of everything we will do in this course. If you understand today's class perfectly, every other step will make sense and more clear to your understanding. Next class preview, which is the things we are going to learn in our next class. We are going to learn niche selection, high RPM niche, viral niche, low competition niche, and tools for niche validation. These are the things we are going to learn in our next class. And for now, our class will be ending here. But before our class ends, I would like to give you guys an assignment. This is not to stress you, but to make you understand more about everything we learned. I'm going to give you an AdSense dashboard, and you are provided with an AdSense dashboard. Use the available metrics to solve for the last 7 days earning. And here is the AdSense dashboard. Okay, the AdSense dashboard is here. You can take a screenshot of it, or I will drop it in our group. This is what I mean by solving for last 7 days. Here you can see they selected the covered earning, they covered last 7 days earning, and the matrix provided here is for last 7 days earning. It's not for today's earning. It's for last 7 days earning. The 40K page view here is for last 7 days earning. The RPM is for last 7 days earning. The 34K.5 impressions is for last 7 days earning. The 50 clicks is for last 7 days earning. The 0.06 CPC is for last 7 days earning. And the 0.12% CTR is also for last 7 days earning. If you use the same formula, you are going to use this to calculate the last 7 days earning and understand it without, even when you've not seen it. Okay, this is going to be our assignment, and after this class, I'm going to drop it in our group so that you do your own, write it on a paper, and send me the answer. Snap the paper and send to me. And remember, this is not to stress you, but to help you understand it better. So our class will be ending here. And if you have any question, please ask me. Do you guys have any question? Okay, it seems there is no question. But if later you remember your own question, drop it in our WhatsApp group. I'm going to answer it. For now, good night, everybody.